Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. EQ Nostalgia here, and I have to talk to you guys now about this Carrie Fisher affair with Harrison Ford. People are losing their fucking minds over this, and it's one of those things where I bring it to the channel and I hesitate to bring it to the channel because it's not really the central focus. So I'm thinking about starting up another channel, guys. I'm thinking of calling it something like EQ Talks or something like that, so that I can just, there's a lot of stuff I want to talk to you guys about, but I don't really want it to get in the way of the central focus here that I've been trying to carve out of this channel, because I really do think that the channel has suffered because I've had such a broad coverage of many different things, and that seems to push people away. People come here for Resident Evil, they come here for RPGs, MMORPGs, they come here for survival horror, and outside of that really seems to push people away. So I'm asking all of my subscribers, this is really important, guys. Whoever sees this video, I don't expect to get a lot of views for it. It's not the central focus, like I said, what I do. But let me know down in the comments if you would be interested in something like that. All right, so moving right along, Carrie Fisher has a book out right now called The Princess Diarist, and in this book, she details her affair with Harrison Ford. I have not read it. I don't know everything about it. But I do know that she went on the Tonight Show, and she's been noted for saying that she regrets coming out and saying that. She has regrets about it. Personally, I don't really believe her. I'm going to tell you why. I think that it's a genius way to sell a copy of a book. First of all, you've got quite the combination here. You've got Star Wars. You've got Princess Leia. Okay, those two things alone are multi-fucking platinum sellers. And then you've got a controversy of an affair with one of the cast members, Harrison Ford. You don't have to be a rocket scientist, folks, to see that that is a very potent combination for selling copies of your book. Does she maybe regret the fact that she kind of outed Harrison Ford in this way? Yeah, probably. Does she regret the fact that she's going to be selling a shitload of books and making a lot of money? No, absolutely not. And a lot of people are giving her shit for this, and I can see why. Some of the vile stuff that people say, though, I don't really... I think people get a little too fucking brutal. It's the internet, you know how people are. They say the most vile shit. But I've never been a movie star, and I'm pretty sure nobody watching this video has ever been a movie star. So we don't understand the pressures of that, and that might sound very first world problem. Oh, there's so many pressures on these poor movie stars. Well, you know, in a way that there really is. They have different pressures. I mean, the fact that millions of people want to get into your pants, for example, that kind of changes things, folks. And the same thing can be said about rock stars. There's so many rock stars that have overdosed, and people are like, why do they do that? Well, disposable income plus 24/7 fucking party and girls everywhere. Yeah, you know, it's kind of hard to sit there and judge that in your average, you know, in your average life. These people, they lead completely different lives than we do. So I think it is, you know, we know that an affair is wrong. As a human being, we know that that is wrong, but we don't know the pressures that come with being a movie star. We don't. And yes, while that is first world problem, it's true that we just don't have any experience with that, and we don't know how that feels. And it does change things. I think that that bears mentioning, and a lot of people just kind of either choose to ignore that fact or they're just completely oblivious to it. Not that I'm saying her behavior is correct. It's not. There's people that most likely got hurt by this. Somebody that was with her at the time, or whoever was with Harrison. I don't know if he was married to the same person that he's married to now. I don't know the details of Harrison Ford's relationships and Carrie Fisher's. I'm sure there's plenty of people that do. I've never got into that style of figuring out what all the stars are doing. Quite frankly, I don't give a shit. But this is interesting. I care about Star Wars. You know, I care about Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford. You know, their characters. Han Solo, Princess Leia. I love that stuff. Come on. You know, who doesn't? If you're into this culture, it's like the holy grail of nerdism. So it's something that I think is very interesting, and it's definitely worth talking about. But it's hard for me to pass judgment on these people. And when I see other people passing judgment on them, I'm like, well, come on, man. Do you know that you wouldn't do the same exact thing if you were in their shoes? I don't know that you do. It's so easy for people to sit there and judge other folks without having any experience of what it's like to go through that. And like I said, first world problems, yeah, I get it. But it's human nature to do these things. Now, what pisses me off, and what I think pisses off a lot of people, is if this was Harrison Ford coming out and doing this, he'd be labeled a misogynist. The feminazis would be losing their fucking minds over it. Could you imagine? I mean, he'd be like the biggest scumbag in the eyes of so many people. It'd be all over the place. Oh, Harrison Ford, misogynist. Harrison Ford rapes Carrie Fisher. You'd see all sorts of crazy shit because these people are demented. social justice warrior libtards are fucking demented. And I don't like the way that people are reacting to this, because that's the way that the SJWs would react to it. Well, what if the shoes was reversed? Well, don't be like those people. Let's make an example out of that. Let's not be like those people. It's human fucking nature, folks. People do these things. They cheat. It happens. And when you have these people that come together and they're filming, and sometimes they just kind of click. Something happens. You can't tell me that you can go back and watch Star Wars and you don't see something there in their eyes. Maybe that wasn't just acting. Maybe there was a spark there. Maybe there was a romance there the whole time. Maybe when you look at that poster of him holding Princess Leia, there's really something there, right? It's not that much of a shock to me. It's not that much of a surprise. But evidently, some people, they have absolutely no respect for her now because of this. And I think it's completely ridiculous. We're humans. We fuck up, folks. We make mistakes. I've seen people saying things like, Harrison Ford, he should have done the right thing. He was older than her. He should have known better. All right, hold on. Wait a minute here. Let me ask you guys something. If you had 1979 Princess Leia in your bedroom in the slave outfit, what would you do with that? Would you walk away? Would you be like, oh, no, I can't do this. Get the fuck out of here. 9 out of 10 dudes would dive all over that, and then they would just be quiet about it. They wouldn't say anything about it. And then he'd feel guilty, every time they went around their wife, they'd be like, oh, you fucking, I'm such a pig. I'm such a pig. But that it's, like I said, human nature. Princess Leia, slave outfit, doesn't really, it's kind of hard to walk away from that. And yeah, I'm being kind of ridiculous about it. Did Princess Leia get in a slave outfit and seduce Harrison Ford? I highly doubt it. But, sexual tensions, and I'm sure this is something that took a while to develop. Probably happened. I don't know what film it happened with. I don't know if they were filming. Like I said, I didn't read the book. All I can tell you is that human nature is human nature. It's the same for everyone, and there's a little bit more pressure on these stars than I think there are for regular folks. I don't know what it's like to have a bunch of women who want my body. I don't. I wish I did, but I don't know what that's like. Harrison Ford knows what that's like. Maybe you can ask him. Maybe you can call him up and be like, "Hey, Harrison, what's it like to have all these women that want your body? Does it change things in your life? Does it change the way you carry yourself? Does it change your confidence?" Because I think it fucking does, right? So here comes the fun part where I get to read from salty people who are obviously jealous. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see. You don't have to be into human psychology to see the salt levels, the sodium levels off the charts. Okay, so Joel says that she isn't worth the ink it took to print this article. Really, Joel? Who the fuck are you? Where do you come from? And how many people give a fuck about you? How many people are going to talk about your affair, Joel? Precisely fucking zero, buddy. You're talking about Princess Leia, okay? Star Wars, without me going full fucking geek fanboy mode, is the most successful movie franchise of all time. I think it bears mentioning when the lead female comes out and says, yeah, we actually did have an affair back then. And this is something that people have been speculating for years. Fans have been on forums for years saying, I bet Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford did the nasty. Well, I'll be damned, but it looks like they were right, because it looks like that's exactly what happened. Unless she happens to be lying, which I really don't think she is. You guys are going to start to see a theme here, a very salty theme that is very apparent. Okay, so Pop says, sad when a long-forgotten B-list actress tries to reclaim her glory. What's most striking about this comment is the 253 fucking complete and total morons that agreed with him. There are so many things wrong with this statement, okay? Forgotten? No. Princess Leia is anything but forgotten. Nobody forgets about Princess Leia. Yes, we're talking about Carrie Fisher, but come on, this is Princess Leia. That's just the fucking way that it is. Has she been in memorable roles later? No. She doesn't have to be. She doesn't fucking have to be. People are going to remember Star Wars for hundreds of years. I really think that it's something that's going to be around in our culture for a long, long time. Okay? Forgotten? No. B-list actress? What the fuck? Do you know what B-list means? Star Wars is anything but B-list. Maybe if you're looking at like Dune, you could say the actress from Dune was B-list. The spice must flow. Maybe you could say that. I guess that would apply. Also, very hot actress. I can't remember her name. But trying to reclaim her glory. I've never seen a short sentence. I've never seen a sentence that short with so much wrong with it. How the fuck is Carrie Fisher going to reclaim her glory by talking about an affair? That no. If you were to say, "Oh, she's just trying to get money for her book," I'd say, "Well, yeah, you're right. That's probably what she's trying to do." But then I wouldn't blame her for it. I don't understand why people fucking seem to absolutely hate when people want to make money. It's the American way, folks. It's the American way to make money any way that you fucking can. If you can talk about who you slept with and make millions of dollars doing it, you're telling me you're not going to do it? Get the fuck out of here. The very fact that all Carrie Fisher has to say is, I slept with this guy, and people lose their fucking minds, proves that you are 110% incorrect. Next up, we got the triple threat here. We got Tom, we got Bone King, and Steve. These guys mean business. Tom says, she's such a complete idiot. Yeah, okay. That's why she's filthy fucking rich. That's why she's making money talking about opening her legs. And that's all she literally has to do. And money just fucking literally drops into her lap. Oh, Jesus, man. You people are fucking dumb. This is why you keep your mouth shut. Stop airing your dirty laundry. Actually, Bone King, this is how you sell books, man. This is why she's got a lot of money and you don't, because she understood that there was an opportunity to make some money. Is that something that people are going to judge her on? Yeah. Like I said, people see you making money and they just fucking hate it. For some reason, people are haters. It's just the way it is. People are fucking salty. If they see someone making money off of something, I could fucking do that. That's nothing special. Blah, blah, blah. There's that little green monster. It's called envy, folks. And it's everywhere. These people are just, they're for me, you might as well just wear this on your sleeve. You might as well just go around saying, I am a salty prick who is jealous of people who have success that I don't have. That's pretty much the only thing that I see. And I do have a little bit of education in human psychology. I'm not going to say I went to college. I didn't, but it is something that I've studied. So it's very obvious to me how salty these motherfuckers are. Steve, when you're irrelevant, you cling to anything that makes you relevant. She's not irrelevant, Steve. Princess Leia is not irrelevant. Carrie Fisher is not irrelevant. She's old. She doesn't look anything like she used to. And it sucks because it reminds us of the fact that we're going to be old someday and that we're mortal and that, someone that we have idolized is getting older. Yeah, that's, that happens. But irrelevant? No. No. The Star Wars is the opposite of irrelevant. Now, do I think that Carrie Fisher sits there and looks at this new generation and doesn't feel anything at all? No. Imagine if that was you, and then a new generation comes in and kind of starts to push you aside, and then they've got the reins. Yeah, that's depressing, man. Anybody who sees that is going to be salty about it. You're going to be like, oh, fucking new gen. And she probably loves the new kids, the new cast. She probably loves them, okay? But somewhere deep inside of her heart, she's like, you little fucking bastards. She feels that way. It's human nature. It's just the way that it is. Unless you're some sort of a saint, you're always going to have those feelings. You're always going to be like, well, I was there first. I did it the first time. I started this shit. And you little motherfuckers ain't shit compared to me. Somewhere inside her head, she's thinking something along those lines. Okay. So yeah, she might be feeling a little irrelevant. I can't completely say no, but she's not irrelevant. She might be feeling that way because of the new cast and the fact that it's really changed hands. She's passing the torch. It's not easy to do that. Anybody who retires, heavyweight champion of the world, retires, is going to see the new guy that comes up behind him and be like, hey, he's a punk-ass little bitch. I'd have knocked him the fuck out 20 years ago. That's human nature, folks. One of the reasons why I don't like SJW types and I don't like feminazis, because they go against human nature. Stop. You're not going to win. Human nature will always trump you. It's just the way it is. You see what I did there? Did you see what I did? Going back to that good old theme, MGM says, oh yeah, sure she does. She's always trying to get media attention. She must be hurting for attention. Again, Carrie Fisher, not hurting for attention. Does she like it? I'm sure she does. Stars get accustomed to that. There's even YouTubers who get accustomed to that. Boogie2988 has come out and said that I crave the attention. I really do. She probably does crave the attention. But is she desperate for it? Is she hurting for it? No. We're talking about someone who can literally roll out of bed, put a robe on, not even do her hair, not even have a cup of fucking coffee yet, walk into a convention, and a million nerds will be drooling at her feet. She is not hurting for attention. Does she love the attention? Abso-fucking-lutely. Wouldn't you? Naya Scoot says, what's with these movie people? I won't call her a star because she's not. So much trash out there. And they think they are so important. Holy fucking sodium. That's like off the charts sodium right there. How is she not a star? I'm trying to figure out how people figure that she's not a star. Maybe it's because she hasn't been in multiple roles. It doesn't really fucking matter, folks. She's in the most successful film franchise of all time. That makes her a star, whether or not you want to admit it. Trash. That's where you're getting into like the venomous shit, where people are just obviously just really miserable with their lives. They fucking can't stand their job. Their wife is a flaming cunt. They have to come home to her every day, and they're like, I hate my life. Carrie Fisher is trash. All right, so last one. This is starting to get a little too long. Pat D says, why is everyone bashing Carrie Fisher? What about Harrison Ford, many years her senior and old enough to know better than to mess around with a young girl and to cheat on his wife as well? I half agree with you and half disagree. Here's why I half agree with you. Yes, Harrison Ford was definitely a part of this. It takes two to tango. That's the way it is. But at the same time, Carrie Fisher was not a little baby. She knew what she was doing. She was an adult. She was a consenting adult. She knew what she was doing was wrong. They're both wrong. And one of the reasons why I think people are so mad at Carrie Fisher is because, well, it's been about 40 years, some crazy shit like that. It's been a long time. And now all of a sudden, she's trying to sell a book. She talks about this shit. And, it's got wide-reaching consequences. How does this affect Harrison Ford's family? Did she think that through? That might be where the regret comes from. But at the same time, she's making money off of this shit. So one part of her regrets it, the other part is like, cha-ching! And I can't really say that I full-heartedly blame her, because I think a lot of people would do the same fucking thing if in the same situation. I mean, what it really comes down to is what she did is pretty classless, talking about it all this time later. And I think that's what's really got people fired up, right? It's fucked up. But that's just, that's the way it is. She's making money off of it. And you know what? Here I am talking about it. I want to ask you, if you were to have an affair right now on your wife, how many people would be making videos about it? How much news coverage would you get? How many people would give a fuck? Precisely zero, and I stand by that. And I think that bothers people. I think people are salty. I think they're envious. I think they see that she's out there making a lot of money just talking about someone she slept with 4 fucking decades ago. And it pisses them off. They're just salty. Like, oh yeah, she's irrelevant. She's nothing. And what she did is she was just classless, blah, 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 blah. And all I see in these posts is how much these people absolutely hate their own lives. But I have to say, to all the people that are getting really salty and pissed off about this,
use your aggressive feelings, boy. Let the hate flow through you.